Hey everyone, this is Gavin with Fanboy TV coming at you guys from Dragon's Lair, and I'm very happy to be here with the Dynamic Music Group partners. Introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Chris Carter.
I'm Lolita Ritmanis.
And I'm Michael McCuistion.
And what is it you guys do exactly? Because I'm really excited to talk about this. So I don't want to spoil anything, but describe what you do.
We write music to get you excited about superheroes for probably many of the shows that you grew up watching.
Like,
Batman the Animated Series.
totally awesome series.
Superman.
Yeah, Superman the Animated Series. And there
Not
was
so
the
much.
new Adventures of Batman and Superman. That was kind of a
Yeah.
combination.
Batman
Right.
Beyond.
Batman Beyond was awesome.
Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
Teen Titans.
Bunch of DC. Do you do anything for Marvel?
We did,
We
well,
did Spectacular Spider-Man.
Very good.
Yes. And
That's it? Just Spider-Man? You didn't want to like branch out? You're like, no, we're going to stick with DC here.
no, we did, we're currently working on Marvel's Avengers Assemble
Very good.
and Kaijudo, Clash of the Dual Masters, which isn't DC, obviously, or
Right.
Marvel.
So you do a lot of these just epic scores for some epic cartoons. What made you guys decide you wanted to do this? Like
Was
you
it
wake
a
up one day
decision? I
saying-
don't remember making a decision about that. It just sort of happened. We started on Batman the Animated Series, and that was our first job, all of us. And it just kind of evolved from there into superhero after superhero. We just loved the music so much, and we got completely attached to the characters. So, I mean, it just took off from there.
I gotta say, we were all huge fans of the characters before we started working on it. And so then we kind of have these fanboy moments, at least I have the fanboy moments,
Yeah.
where we get the first episode, it's like, I get to see this before anybody else. And then we get to work.
So what was your biggest fanboy moment that you've had so far?
In the last 20 years of watching superhero cartoons that we love.
I can tell you mine.
Okay, you start.
Yeah, no, because when we started working on Superman, we were working with Shirley Walker, who was the supervising composer, and she would assign episodes to people that she wanted to work with her. And I don't know if she knew what was going on here or not, but she knew that I liked Superman a lot. I'm from the Midwest, so there's this Smallville connection anyway. So she assigned me the second episode of Last Son of Krypton, which was the three-part opening trilogy that was sort of the origin story of Superman. And that particular episode happened to be the whole like growing up in Smallville and figuring out his powers and learning how to fly and with his parents and everything, and it was just like I felt a huge sense of responsibility, let's just say that. Huge sense of responsibility to, you know, the lore, the Superman lore. So that was my first just like, oh my god.
You had to have a good time with it.
Oh, are you kidding me? And I sweat bullets over it too, because it was so important to me personally that it was like, you know, rewrite every cue 3 times and, you know, tweak out everything. So yeah, I was very engrossed.
Okay, your turn.
It is hard to think of one big moment, but I know that, again, from the Superman series, the whole appearance of Darkseid and the New Gods, they played Superman as being not entirely, you know, like he's not a godlike person, and so when you come against Darkseid, who is a god, it was just a struggle of epic proportions, even more than epic than we had before. And I think just seeing Superman against Darkseid, who's voiced by Michael Ironside, and it felt so exciting to be a part of that story.
And last but not least,
Well, I have a couple, but I think for me a really cool moment was more to do with fans. And we were at Comic-Con, and this young couple came up to us afterwards and said how they had recorded the music off of the TV, which then would have all the sound effects and everything, but they had gotten married to some music that I'd written for Justice League, for Star-Crossed episodes, so that was just amazing. It's like, really, you got married to the music from Justice League? That's just awesome.
It was great.
And another moment for me was when I was in the audience at the Hollywood Bowl. All 3 of us worked on Batman Beyond. Chris wrote the theme, and his music was included in this big superhero concert at the Hollywood Bowl. I mean, there's, you know, thousands of people in this huge orchestra, and they're listening to John Williams and all, you know, great music, orchestral music, and all of a sudden Chris's music comes on, and it's the guitar playing and the orchestra, and all the producers are in the audience, and everyone is just having such a great time, and I was just, you know, I was so happy to be there and witness, you know, Chris have this phenomenal moment. So that was
I loved the Batman Beyond, or the soundtrack. I had it. I used to listen to it and draw and do all sorts of fun stuff, and it was amazing. And each one of these series has had a completely different feel. And how challenging is it to come up with superhero music that really reflects the action, the energy, and the fantasy, and the magic, and all the fun stuff that comes with being a superhero? It's not like John Williams, you write an adventure score, and you just say John Williams, people expect it. You got to come up with something different each time. What kind of challenge is that?
It is a big challenge, but also I think that there's so much room in music for kind of fine gradations. If you think between blue and red, there's an infinite number of colors in between. It's kind of the same way. It's like superhero music, or what you perceive as superhero music, can have so many different colors and sounds. I think we haven't even scratched the surface of the different combinations we can try. So I think we're still looking for that limit, and it may never come of how we can try and play it. I just think there's too many possibilities.
I think it's about energy. I think,
Yeah.
If you get the power of what is happening on the screen, you can express that power in a lot of different ways. And, the sound palette is virtually infinite, like you were saying. So, when we're thinking about a show, we're more thinking about, how can we make it unique and personal to these characters, to this story, to what they're going through, to maybe to their time period, maybe to their location, something specific to them that when you hear the music you say, oh, I know what that world is. I know those characters by hearing, how we express them in music.
I mean, the producers and the directors, whoever the visionary is of the show, that person usually has an idea already of what the tone
Yeah.
should be. And I mean, speaking about Batman Beyond, we weren't going to get that show. We were pretty much
Come in.
we were pretty much not being considered. I mean, Chris maybe looks a little rock and roll, but we certainly don't look that rock and roll. And Shirley Walker did not look rock and roll, and she was really smart. And we actually put together a CD. We did a huge submission to the people at Warner Brothers who were in charge, and luckily for us, they were just blown away by the submission. And actually, when you said you listened to that soundtrack, well, even backtracking from that, our demo, I heard later that the artist then used the demo to get inspiration for the series.
Mm-hmm.
But really, the idea of what kind of tone, I think it really starts with the producer, and then it's the producer, and then we have to figure out what to do with that exactly.
Well, I do understand about tones and things because the superhero culture has changed vastly changed over the years. From Batman animated series, which I thought was really groundbreaking because it treated superheroes like something everybody could enjoy. I loved that cartoon so much. Mm-hmm. And now today you've got them trying to make it more realistic, like with the Dark Knight trilogy and even Man of Steel. What did you think of Man of Steel, since you're such a Superman fan?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Well, let's just say that on my iPad I have the logo as my startup screen. So there you go.
Yeah, he's the Superman guy, so
I'm
we
the
always
Superman
do
guy.
get that question.
See,
of
I've
who's,
never
I'm more a Batman person.
been much of a Superman guy. I always thought he was too good, and I thought Man of Steel really made it kind of down to earth, where he was more approachable.
I like the movie because they spent a lot of time on his backstory, and they
That was
really
another
kind of
thing.
developed him as a human being. Because it's my feeling that he is not as much Superman as he is Clark Kent. He is Clark Kent. He doesn't. Superman is just another thing he does. But unlike Batman, who is way more comfortable being Batman than he is being Bruce Wayne, I think Superman is really a lot more comfortable with being Clark Kent. He's just a kid from the Midwest, so
But
that's my feeling.
he's a little simpler, don't you think?
Yes,
I mean, Batman.
simple is good.
See, I like Batman because he's so complicated and dark, and I want to
You
go
can
in and
romanticize
save
that if you want,
save
but-
Batman, and you know.
So, what did you think of the Batman song from the Lego movie?
I can't comment. But have you?
Because he was so dark, no parents. Come on, that sums up Batman perfectly right there.
I do have to say that the whole thing with the Lego thing, I think, is just brilliant. Just the whole concept. I mean, originally when I heard about that there was going to be this whole, I mean, it's been happening for a while, but this is the big movie. I thought, wow, really? And it's just, I mean, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's the best of, it's for kids and for adults, and adults that grew up with Lego could sit with their kids and do put Batman's head on or whatever. Why not?
Yeah,
It's all wonderful. It keeps us
great.
busy. Anytime if the superheroes keep the big movies make money, we do better.
good deal of fun. So, who's your favorite superhero? Because we've got Batman, Superman,
Superman,
Batman. Who is yours?
I fit kind of in the middle, between Batman and Superman.
No, just in general.
Oh. I actually like John Jones,
Not bad.
Martian
Pretty good.
Manhunter.
I don't think Martian Manhunter gets enough credit. You know who else doesn't get enough credit? And can you explain to me why? Why does Aquaman get no credit in the superhero world?
Oh, well,
We
listen.
love Aquaman.
In Brave and the Bold,
Right?
in
Yeah.
Batman Brave and the Bold, you had the theme and you just went for it with Aquaman, and it is huge and appropriate. And
I love Aquaman.
His performance was
And John
incredible.
DiMaggio as Aquaman. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think he's one of those ones that gets no credit. And then they did that movie where he was fighting Wonder Woman. It was that animated movie. It's like, this is how you know Aquaman's awesome, because he can fight the Amazons and hold his own. Period.
Well, the man sliced off his own hand, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, that was back in Angry Hook Hand Aquaman. We don't talk about that one
You
at all.
don't like that Aquaman?
No.
I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of awesome, but Angry, just
He
no.
sliced it off with his belt buckle.
Well, that's some epicness right there.
I like Spider-Man too.
Everybody loves Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's
I
fun.
love Spider-Man. He's fun.
Yeah, he's fun.
And you know, we absolutely loved working on Spectacular Spider-Man, and I so wish that it had gone on longer. I
Yeah,
mean,
me
it was
too.
a complicated thing, but such a well done show, and just watching it, rewatching some of it now, it's like it was just awesome. Really fun.
Yeah.
I like what's happening with the TV shows, and that they're going to have, the Arrow's doing well, they're bringing Flash into that
Yes.
world, and I'm wondering whether or not Martian Manhunter is going to be able to
Kinda
sneak
fit in there somewhere?
That'd be nice if he did.
So what do you think of this whole pre-Justice League Superman sequel they're working on? Because everyone threw a fit when they said, oh, Wonder Woman's going to be in it, there's going to be thrown in it. Now she's got this whole 3-picture deal, and DC seems to be trying to create this cinematic universe that Marvel has. Is it too late for them to try to do that?
No.
I don't think it's too late if it's done
Yeah.
well. you
It just
know?
depends on whether they have enough story so that you care about each character.
That's
For me.
really the thing. If with any of this, if the story is compelling,
Yeah.
it will draw people in. And then you have this huge audience that'll just go to watch it anyway. But if the story's good, you'll get people involved that have not had any interest in superheroes until then.
Well, I think story's a big part, but last question before we go is, it does come down to the music. So what is your favorite superhero score that you have not done that you're like, man, I wish I could have done that? Because you're like, I like Danny Elfman's Spider-Man tracks. I like the new Man of Steel soundtrack a lot. But there's music behind all of these. What is your favorite score to a superhero movie?
The Incredibles.
Right on.
I love that too. I can't pick one. I have so much respect for those composers. I mean, it's a huge task to have that responsibility. So I don't have a favorite one, but I do like what Giacchino's been doing.
Are you talking about recent things? Are you talking about
Anything.
favorite score or favorite
Overall,
film? Or
favorite score from a film, superhero film overall.
Superhero film.
I mean,
You're gonna go back to Richard Donner Spider-Man.
hello, no, not Spider-Man.
I mean,
Gosh,
Superman.
I'm not getting it right.
I'm telling
Oh
you,
my
I've got
God!
Spider-Man on the ring.
Spider-Man Superman gets so dissed by everybody. I'm here
Well,
to.
let's
You
face
gotta
facts.
be the Superman.
Superman Returns was
champion.
not a good movie.
No,
It was
I
horrible.
did not like it. I didn't like anything from the Donner film up to Man of Steel. Just wipe all that out, and Well, actually, I liked Richard Donner's cut of the second Superman film. That
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
liked.
bad.
I really liked that.
It really wasn't bad.
So, but I mean, go from there all the way to Man of Steel and just sort of forget what happened. Just forget, forget, and then pick up on Man of Steel. You're good.
Nice. So thank you guys for taking time to talk superheroes and music and all sorts of fun things. You guys are amazing, and you've done amazing work, and I'm a huge fan of Batman Beyond soundtrack. I'm like trying to not geek out. I have those moments where I try to not geek out too much, like when I talked to a lady that was in Lord of the Rings. She did some other movie, and I spent the whole interview trying to say, how do I bring up Lord of the Rings? My mind was just gearing up because she plays the Elf Queen. I'm like, how do I bring up the fact that you were Lord of the Rings?
Well, we need to give a shout out to La La
Yes.
Land Records because they are now putting out all the Warner Brothers stuff gradually, and more soundtracks are being available from the old series that we've done, and fingers crossed, more Batman Beyond.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
interested in archiving the series, and they've gone back even soundtracks that have been released in their catalog, and they've done complete scores from certain movies. So they're interested in, they love animated, the animated music, and they want to get it out there. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. They're going to continue to
Yeah, they're
churn
real
'em out.
champions. Yeah.
I love it. This is a good job. So thank you guys for being on, and
Thanks for having us.
I look forward to what you guys come up with in the future.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So
Thanks
keep
a
you
bunch.
Those
posted.
are amazingly awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Yay!
Bye.